It's the year 2154, and humanity is facing an energy crisis back on Earth. The solution? A rare mineral called unobtainium is found only on Pandora, a lush moon orbiting the gas giant Polyphemus in the Alpha Centauri star system. But there's a problem. Pandora is home to the Na'vi, a humanoid species deeply connected to their environment. The movie begins with Jake Sully, a paraplegic ex-Marine traveling to Pandora. Jake is recruited to replace his deceased twin brother, a scientist in the Avatar program. This program allows humans to control genetically engineered Na'vi-human hybrid bodies called avatars remotely. Jake's assignment is to infiltrate the Na'vi, gain their trust, and convince them to leave Home Tree, a sacred structure located above a vast deposit of unobtainium. Upon arriving at Hell's Gate, the human base on Pandora, Jake meets Dr. Grace Augustine, the head of the Avatar program. Grace is skeptical of Jake's abilities but agrees to train him. Jake also encounters Colonel Miles Quaritch, who promises Jake a cure for his paralysis if he provides intel on the Na'vi. Jake's mission? Gain the trust of the Na'vi and convince them to relocate from their sacred lands. Jake links with his avatar body for the first time, experiencing the joy of walking again. During his first mission exploring Pandora, Pandora is like nothing Jake has ever seen. From bioluminescent forests to fierce wildlife, the moon is both beautiful and deadly. On Jake's first field mission, he, Grace, and other scientists venture into Pandora's wilderness. The team collects samples, but Jake's lack of experience and impulsiveness lead to trouble. He encounters a fearsome Thanatos, a large predator, which chases him into the dense forest. Jake becomes separated from the group and is left to fend for himself overnight in Pandora's dangerous environment. Just as he is about to be killed, he is saved by Neytiri, a Na'vi warrior and daughter of the Omaticaya clan leaders. When Neytiri encounters Jake in the forest, she initially considers him an intruder and even dangerous. However, a swarm of wood sprites, sacred seeds of the Tree of Souls, surrounds Jake, landing on him. Neytiri interprets this as a sign from Ewa, the Na'vi's deity, that Jake has a special purpose. Neytiri is intrigued by Jake's bravery and naivety. Despite her initial distrust of humans, she believes there might be a reason Ewa has brought him to the Omaticaya. Neytiri reluctantly brings Jake to her clan after a spiritual sign from Ewa, the Na'vi's deity, suggests he may be important. After bringing Jake to the clan's leader, Etukun, her father, and spiritual leader Moat, her mother, Moat decides that Jake should be trained in their ways. Moat hopes that by teaching Jake their customs and culture, he might come to understand and respect their way of life. Neytiri is tasked with training Jake, which becomes a central part of the story as their bond grows, and Jake learns to see the world from the Na'vi perspective. This decision ultimately sets the stage for Jake's transformation and the film's broader themes of unity, respect for nature, and resistance to exploitation. If he can be trusted. Under Neytiri's guidance, Jake learns the Na'vi language, their deep connection to Pandora's ecosystem, and their spiritual bond with Ewa. As Jake spends more time with the Na'vi, he grows to love their culture and forms a deep bond with Neytiri. He successfully tames a banshee, a fierce flying creature that the Na'vi use for transportation, earning respect from the clan. However, Jake continues to report back to Quaritch and the RDA, feeding them information about the Na'vi's lifestyle and weaknesses. As Jake learns the Na'vi language and their spiritual connection to Pandora, he begins to question his mission. Neytiri teaches him the importance of balance and harmony with nature, and their bond deepens into love. Jake's dual loyalties are tested when the RDA decides to forcibly relocate the Omaticaya. Parker Selfridge, the corporate administrator, grows impatient with Jake's efforts to negotiate. When Jake Sully reveals the truth to the Omaticaya clan, the Omaticaya feel betrayed and enraged by Jake's admission, especially Neytiri, who is devastated as she trusted and fell in love with him. Jake and Grace are tied up and taken prisoner by the Omaticaya. Etukun, the clan leader and Neytiri's father, expresses his anger and disappointment. Before the situation can be resolved, the humans launch a devastating attack on Home Tree using heavily armed gunships. Despite Jake's warnings and pleas for them to leave, the Omaticaya refuse to abandon their sacred home. The attack leads to massive destruction, the death of Etukun, and the displacement of the clan. The attack kills many Na'vi, including Neytiri's father. the clan leader. After the destruction of Home Tree, Jake is disconnected from his avatar by the humans, but he later escapes with the help of Grace, Trudy, and Norm. Determined to make amends, Jake reconnects with his avatar and seeks to regain the trust of the Na'vi by taming Toruk, a legendary flying predator symbolizing leadership and strength. This act earns him the title of Toruk Makto, a leader in Na'vi legend who appears during times of great crisis. Jake reunites with the Omaticaya and convinces them to fight back. Jake rallies Pandora's clans and unites them against the RDA. A climactic battle unfolds as the Na'vi, with the aid of Pandora's wildlife, face off against the RDA's heavily armed forces. Neytiri fights valiantly alongside Jake, who uses his avatar to command the forces. Colonel Miles Quaritch plans a direct assault on the Tree of Souls using heavily armed gunships and explosives. Destroying the tree would sever the Na'vi's spiritual connection to Awa and demoralize them. The Na'vi prepare an ambush using their intimate knowledge of Pandora's terrain and ecosystems. Jake formulates a plan to disrupt the human forces, focusing on their air fleet and ground troops. The battle starts with the Na'vi launching an aerial and ground assault. Warriors on Ikran, Banshees, attack the gunships, while others on dire horses engage the RDA's ground troops. The humans respond with overwhelming firepower, using amp suits, gunships, and missiles. Many Na'vi fighters are killed due to the technological superiority of human weapons. Just as it seems the Na'vi are losing, Awa, Pandora's life force, appears to intervene. Pandora's wildlife, including fen adders, viper wolves, and hammerhead titan others, join the battle, overwhelming the human forces and providing crucial support to the Na'vi. Jake, riding Toruk, leads a daring attack on the main gunship commanded by Quaritch. He destroys one of its engines, causing significant damage to the human forces. Quaritch, piloting an amp suit, emerges for a one-on-one fight with Jake near the Tree of Souls. After a tense and dramatic confrontation, Neytiri saves Jake by killing Quaritch with her bow and arrows. The Na'vi, with help from Awa and Jake's leadership, successfully repel the human invasion and protect the Tree of Souls. The defeated humans are expelled from Pandora, except for a few scientists like Norm Spellman, who are allowed to stay. Jake permanently transfers his consciousness into his avatar body through a ritual at the Tree of Souls, fully becoming one of the Na'vi and solidifying his place among them.